Yeah. On-chain revolution, you're not bullish enough. On-chain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the decks, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. On-chain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. On-chain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. EYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. On-chain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. On-chain revolution. On-chain. Hey, on-chain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, change. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to On-Chain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today, and I am pumped, guys, because CPI came in very, very normal, very, very sideways. Exactly what we want, because this shows Jerome Powell that we do not need to keep rates this high. We can cut them. And what that's going to do, that's going to make the markets go crazy. We do have PPI this Thursday and the jobs numbers, another 2 data points that could really lead to a 0.5 rate cut. I mean, we're not talking about a 0.25 no more. We're potentially talking about a 0.5 rate cut, potentially going to happen. Jerome Powell does speak on the 23rd. It's not a Fed meeting, but we don't really care about the Fed meeting. We just care about what he says. And if he indicates during the Jackson Hole meeting on the 23rd that, he is ready to start cutting rates or leading his way to a rate cutting cycle, guys, we are going to absolutely explode the next couple months leading into the ETFs. What do I mean? XRP, Solana, Cardano, many, many more potentially getting passed. So ETFs, and what that will do, that'll kind of push away from the treasury company stuff, which we want to see. We don't want to see a million treasury companies. We want ETFs right now, and the Fed can do this, and the SEC can do this, and that will be absolutely insane. Ready for that, guys. But we have Bitcoin very, very happy with the numbers today, sitting at 119,474. We have Ethereum with a huge push up today, sitting over almost near 5% on the day, sitting at 4,422. Get excited, guys. Get excited. XRP having a good day, up 2%. Dog up 4% on the day. Tau up 4% on the day. ADA having a good day, back over that 80 cents. Good for ADA. But this is the thing, too. We have the Dow Jones up 1%. We have the NASDAQ now up 0.6%. And then the S&P 500 up 0.67%. These are all major catalysts, guys. We should be very excited. But we need 2 things to happen. We need DXY. They keep coming down. We need a DXY under 95. It did drop today a little bit, 0.3 down. And then we have Bitcoin dominance dropping as well. So I'm super excited. We got so much news to cover. We got Circle creating a blockchain. We have Stripe. Yes, Stripe creating a stablecoin and a blockchain. Really excited for the news today. Really excited to get the show started. So without further ado, bring my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling today, man?
I feel pretty good. You know, Ethereum is back over 4,400, right? And that always feels good. I feel very confident in just how it's staying above 4,000, and not just staying above it. It's really, you know, it's thriving. I mean, 4,400, 400 more dollars, and we are knocking on a new all-time high for Ethereum. And I told you guys, I said that this month I am expecting Ethereum to do something aggressive, and it seems to be, you know, heading that direction. We'll see if it continues, because if it continues at this rate, we will be challenging the new for a new all-time high for Ethereum, which would be great.
100%, man. I think it's coming this week. Would you say like Thursday or Friday? If PPI comes in good, we could see it Friday.
Man, every time I feel like this, like a little bit conservative during like ETH being bullish, it surprises me. So I wouldn't be shocked if something crazy did happen like that. But if I were to say, you know, when I think that might be, I would say probably like we're a week out maybe from that, because we still need a little bit of time to receive what's happening with Ethereum and stuff like that. But hey, at the end of the day, I didn't expect, you know, in July for Ethereum to get that aggressive so quick. So nothing surprises me anymore, I guess, with Ethereum and you know, what the trajectory is. We know that it's going to head into this overbought kind of phase that can be stretched out, which is going to be amazing. So I would probably, if I had to put money on it, man, I'd probably make a small wager against it, but it wouldn't shock me if it does happen.
Yeah, I'm seeing that it does. I'm thinking it happens tomorrow or Thursday afternoon. I think the next 48 hours we're going to see an ETH all-time high. I just feel the momentum. I feel the FOMO on the timeline. I feel a lot of people exit their bags, including Aiden Ross, right? Exit their bags. Ethereum at 2,600 are now, they don't want to miss the next leg up. And I think you're going to see a lot of FOMO buying. I do think we're going to hit 48 and come back down, though. I don't think it's going to go right past 48 and just go to Valhalla. I do think we're going to hit it, go past it, new all-time high, and have a pullback, maybe back down to 45, but we'll see. So I just want to get out some stuff real quick. So this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, On-Chain Revolution is dropping a meme coin. That meme coin will potentially be on Solana. We're choosing a launch pad right now. We're leaning towards Bonk or Bags right now. One more than the other. We're not going to say which one yet, but it'll be on Solana for sure. We did have a meeting with the great guys from RuneMine this morning. Shout out to Jeff, and potentially going to be opening that bridge up right away from Solana to the Runes ecosystem. What's that going to do? That's going to allow us to take creator fees and open liquidity pools on DotSwap, add the token to Magic Eden. We are going to get about 15 to 30% of that supply, mainly for staking and liquidity. We will not sell that token down. We will potentially maybe airdrop some of our members with that as well as a Rune. We're still kind of talking through that. But if you are a YouTube member, you're going to make out really well. If you are potentially an On-Chain Revolution pass holder or Ordinal Revolution pass holder, maybe we'll do something with that as well. Just let us know, guys. Let us know what you guys want us to do, and we'll potentially do it. So we want as much interaction with these things as possible. That's going to show us what you guys want, right? So definitely do that, and definitely tune in Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I can't stress this enough because we will be launching it live, guys. This is going to be the cleanest drop ever because no one has been more transparent than us.
Yeah, and so just know that this is, first of all, it's experimental. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be for brand and community growth, right? At the same time, this is going to be fun because we're going to be live streaming when it happens. And we've talked to several of our partners. We've talked to several people in the Bitcoin ecosystem, or we talked to some people in the Solana ecosystem. So this is going to be something that's never been done before in terms of launching a Solana meme coin and then being able to have the option. That's an option for you to be able to bridge it to Bitcoin or not, to stake on Bitcoin layer 1. And then also, if you want to stay on Solana, we're going to look for solutions on the Solana side. But the real, I think, enjoyment part of this is, the story behind the meme coin, and we're trying to add to the lore of it too, right? This whole experience. So this is going to be a part of it, just kind of like how the runestones were for Dog Go to the Moon. This will be for this token, and it's going to be exciting. And I guarantee 99% of you guys, maybe close 99.5, will have never maybe even heard of this, but it's deep into the lore of the Bitcoin side of things. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited about it, and Shizzy as well.
Yeah, and beware of snipers, obviously, right? It might not be good to get in right away. And if you want to wait a few hours, maybe a day, I think that is a really good strategy as well. That's something that I'm looking at. So, but we do think it's going to pump the Valhalla. We want it to pump the Valhalla, but if people take profit along the way, I think that's fine as well. But this is a coin that we have a long-term thesis with. We're going to be pushing this thing potentially as long as on-chain revolution exists, and we plan for this to exist the next 50 to 100 years, right? So as long as we can live that long.
I was gonna say,
well, the brand, right? It might not be us sitting here, but the brand, we want the brand to be forever. So that's one thing. And then this meme could be attached to that forever. So definitely looking for that. Definitely looking to bring in more Solana people for the show as well. Kind of the mission with that. But definitely tune in this Sunday at what will it be called? Yagobi. Yeah, it's going to be Yagobi. That is 100%.
Yeah, Gizzy.
The best of you ever. No. Yeah, Gizzy is good too. I like Gizzy. But no, it has lore from like early Bitcoin days. I don't want to give it away too much, but it has lore from early Bitcoin days, and we want to bring that lore to Solana and bridge it to Bitcoin. It'll be a rune. It'll be a Solana token. We will have staking on Solana and on Bitcoin. We're going to be using fluid tokens for the staking. Reward long-term holders. If you do lock it up for 3 months, 90 days, you're going to be rewarded with potentially 100% APY. I mean, we're not sure what that number is going to be yet. It'll be easier to tell once we get the tokens over there and stuff like that. And we'll give you guys be transparent as possible on the show. So get ready for that. All right, let's kind of get into the show stuff here. So the main topic of today's show is $14 billion Bitcoin squeeze, ETH whale addresses surge, and BNB gets 160 million corporate buy. So I looked it up. So the first part of that is a potential Bitcoin short squeeze. I didn't see much on that. But I think it's like 25 at 125, right? It's the explosion starts.
Yeah, I mean, 125,000 for Bitcoin. The bears are trembling right now because they and they keep having to borrow to kind of lower their or increase their position, right? Their liquidation positions, and so it's become this situation to where they've stepped in some SHIT, right? And it's hard for a lot of these people that came in with size to get out of it, right? Because look, I mean, if it was a short-term kind of like 1.5 month type of turnaround flip that they were looking for, I can kind of get where they were coming from. But other than that, like we all expected Bitcoin to have this upward trajectory with the M2 money supply showing where we're headed, having that 80-day advancement on Bitcoin, but then matching it up. So I'm not quite sure what these bears were thinking. And not, they got too greedy. They didn't get out whenever they should have. And now they're stuck in this position. So I think that they're going to go into shell shock after Bitcoin does, pass 130 and get to like 150. And I think you're going to see a lot of shorts back off a bit. And what will happen, in my opinion, is they're going to get so trained to turn bullish to finish the year that they'll get caught. Some of them will get caught being too much of a bull at the end of the year whenever it does turn around a little bit. And that's how they get you. That's how they get you in this game of, market makers and leverage and perps. And so I'm glad I'm a bull right now and not a bear. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I think the bears are about to get wrecked 100%. And Bitcoin erupts, Ethereum's going to follow, I think, really closely. And this is the second part of that. ETH number of addresses with balance above 10,000 ETH. I mean, look at this, right? So back in April of 2021, this is the last bull run, right? So April 2020, April 21st, you've seen, not that many, right? And then as Ethereum has gone up, you have seen Ethereum really, I mean, this is insanity right here from July 7th all the way to April 11th. I mean, this is almost doubled with addresses with a balance of 10,000 Ethereum.
Yeah, so this was really bullish for me whenever I was reading this, because these are headlines that we saw with Bitcoin right before Bitcoin really started getting hyper aggressive. excuse me, now we're seeing it with Ethereum, and it's not just the addresses, but it's kind of led up into all these things with, like, you know, TradFi institutions and corporations pouring into Ethereum now, and now we're seeing the address kind of analytics. This is all rinse and repeat from Bitcoin 6 months ago, 8 months ago, right? And we saw what happened with Bitcoin, so that's why I'm so bullish on the trajectory of Ethereum for at least, you know, this month, and then maybe a break, like I said, in September, and then we carry on in you know, for Q4. Where could Ethereum go? Who knows, man? But I don't think we just hang around this like all-time high area. I think we, you know, we have a substantial kick up from what that was, you know, that 4,800. So this is definitely bullish news, and this is something that I feel like it's kind of Groundhog Day, right? Like I said, we saw Bitcoin, now we're seeing it with Ethereum.
Yeah, and I'm predicting, you know, 9,000 this year for ETH by like December, 9,800. I want to double the all-time high, and then potentially 16 to 18,000 in by next May. That's kind of where I'm kind of seeing Ethereum. So I'm kind of seeing the entire crypto space going into sell in May and go away period.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, for me, that is just tough for me to call a $9,000 Ethereum for this year, but wouldn't be shocked to
Bitcoin did
see.
it.
Yeah,
It
Bitcoin
was a
did it. Yeah, and
doubled
Bitcoin
it.
did it, and it did it with the help of institutions, which is what Ethereum's getting now. So I'll say I won't be super shocked if it gets something crazy like that. But if I were to call something, I'll probably say more on the lines of 6,500, something like that, 6,500, 7,000, which is,
I see
you know.
that for September. You still have 2 more months after
Well,
that.
I think September is going to be a cool down period, but it'll be more
Yeah.
of a pause period. But we'll see.
Yep. And the last part of the headline today is BNC, formerly CEA Industries, bought 200,000 BNB worth, 160 million, become the largest corporate holder of the token. So, guys, this is treasury craziness happening over there. You're seeing this constantly, but BNB, you know, keeps hitting all-time highs, and these guys are just buying it up now, right? So, really excited for the treasury companies and having different tokens. I mean, it gives the TradFi guys plenty of different options to be picking from.
Yeah. You know, BNB also been super strong, right? Hit all-time high after all-time high this summer, really. And so it's another token that we don't talk a ton about, but
Yeah.
probably should be talking more about. And now you're starting to see these institutions come in and you know, say, hey, you know, Solana has talked about more than BNB, but maybe it should be the other way around. And you know, they're definitely close competitors right now in terms of like in the same kind of area. But I think BNB is just not, it's kind of overlooked because it's in the East, right? And because of that, but again, you know, they're brought into the headlines. And before it was all-time high is the reason why they're in the headlines. So I expect more and more of companies to look at them.
Yeah, 100%. Really bullish on treasury companies and BNB. Really cool to kind of see that. So, but let's jump into the news today. So we talked about it yesterday, that this morning. So headline: CPI total inflation remains at 2.7 year over year for July, unchanged from June and slightly below forecast of 2.8. Core CPI, excluding food and energy, rose to 3.1. So this is kind of what we're expecting. This is the tariff inflation that Jerome Powell was so afraid of, barely moving, right, at 3.1, exceeding expectation and pushing upward pressure on prices. This is something, but they, you know, a lot of the Fed guys are saying this is going to be a one-time raise. This isn't going to be something that's going to continue to happen. So, but we'll see if that's true or not. But that was the one part of the CPI that was a little bit iffy. But markets interpret the data as a green light for September rate cut by Federal Reserve, and we will see. Like I said, we have Jackson Hole in about 10 days, with Jerome Powell speaking, so we'll find out exactly what he thinks. But what do you think about the CPI number from this morning?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Obviously, people were excited about it. I think that if there's any way for him to twist it into his favor, he's going to do it, or he's just going to kind of seem like a deer in the headlights, like he has been in the past. Kind of like, oh well, you know, we're still assessing the data. I hate when he says that because it's like he's been assessing data for about 6 months now, right? And you know, I think at this point he's got to make a strong decision. You know, his own team is starting to get frustrated with him. The people that are voting for this are starting to get frustrated with him. So I imagine there has to be a move towards rate cuts. If not, then there's got to be some serious questions asked to Powell, and he needs to answer straightforward and not give the same old kind of, walking around it of, oh, we need to assess the data more. Well, I mean, you've had enough time now at this point.
Yeah, and the Fed minutes are going to be crucial when they drop, and that's actually what happened during the meeting. If we see a bunch of people talking about, hey, I think we should cut rates here, I mean, we basically get to hear what's happening in that room, right? So that's going to be really interesting to see too. Fed minutes should be coming out next week, so that's another potential upward momentum pusher. Definitely looking forward to that, but. Let's get to some crypto stuff here. So Colin Talks Crypto, somebody that I think we both highly respect here. He says ETH bull flag 430 tagged. Next retest the all-time high at 48. So he's calling for it here. He's not giving no timeline on it, but this looks absolutely beautiful. You did have your up. This is from, it looks like this is the daily here, right? No. This is the monthly. It's hard to tell, but he went up, touched it, went up, touched it, went up, touched it, and now
monthly.
you see us monthly as pulling back up here. So what do you think, man? Do you think this is an explosion? Do you think we get the same God candle that we just seen?
Yes. I mean, I don't know what else I have to do. I've been screaming this, and I do highly respect Colin Talks Crypto, because he's just really good with he's good at getting the data, but he's also good at making the data work too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not saying that it's not legit data. Of course it is. But it's been working well, and we've been using the M2 supply and stuff like that. But if you just zoom out a little bit and you look at that chart right there, the bull flag, you just see how oversold it was in 2025, and now we're experiencing this overbought territory, we're not even there, because we haven't even hit the all-time high yet. I feel like unless we have hit all-time high, you can't really say overbought too much, right? If we get back to 48, then I think, yes, we have been in this buy pressure season, but we're only $400 away from it right now. That's not much, especially with how ETH has been moving. So let's say we get it in the next week and a half. And in my opinion, I still think we're in the beginning parts of this overbought territory with Ethereum. Now, do we get that pause period at the end of August and beginning of September? Possibly. I'm thinking we do, but we probably get that with Bitcoin. But it's not going to be that bloody pullback that we saw with Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the alts like we saw early this year. It's going to be more of kind of a chill with maybe a little bit of a downtrend, not just kind of push the brakes a little bit, and then I think we continue on with that overbought heading into Q4, and that's whenever I think we get into the numbers of 5,500, 6,000, 6,500, and if it gets past that, it's kind of well, let's see where it heads.
Yeah, 100%, and we're up 4.6% today, which is $300. So technically, we're about 5% away from the all-time high. 5%. Think about that for a second. That's one day, 5%. It's easy. That could happen Thursday.
Wouldn't 10% be 440 though? So I think we're about almost 10% away. So we're 8% away from.
No.
10% of that. 10% of.
Is this 10%? It was closer.
Yeah. So 10%.
We're at 4.7 today. 25.
Yeah. Well, that's today, because yesterday we were at 4,200. So it jumped up to about around 200. So we're about between 8 and 10%. Okay, whatever that number is, but still, that's not much. If we pulled a 5% jump, then we can easily get up 10% on the week at least, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be easy. I think we get this by the end of the week. I think this weekly candle is going to be that's the size of one of these, and I just see that it hitting, and then maybe we do some sideways up here for a few weeks, right? Come back down, go above, come back down, go above, really flirt with it, and then boom, blast off to that 60, 64, 65. Kind of it's catch up time. It's catch up time for Ethereum. It needs to catch up to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is double. It's almost double its all-time high of 2021. I think ETH has to get there. And I think it gets there very quickly, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but we'll see. All right, let's jump into some more news here. So Circle unveils Arc, a USDC native L1 public testnet, launches September to November. Layer 1 blockchain proposed purpose-built for stablecoin finance, especially payments, foreign exchange FX, and capital market workflows. EVM compatible, supporting Ethereum-style development and smart contracts, uses USDC as the native gas token. Absolutely massive, but they did not choose to do an ETH2. They're actually just forking Ethereum, it feels like, making it faster. It's gonna be super fast. They said it's gonna be faster than Solana, so it might be using some technology that Sonic has developed or something. But what do you think about Circle unveiling Arc, and why do you think people keep using the term Arc? I feel like it's been used way too often.
I mean, I don't know. It's just used with technology for some reason. I don't know. I guess like going into like this new innovative. I don't know. I'm just making stuff off the top of my head. But I will say this though. So as much as it's I think Samson Mao annoys me. He did have a little bit of a point. Not that Ethereum will be kind of tossed to the wayside, but like a lot of these companies are going to be creating their own layer ones, right? So what will Ethereum need to be used for? Well, I think Ethereum will still be used for companies that don't build their own layer one, number one, if they don't use a layer two, right? So and also Ethereum's asset is the closest to Bitcoin in terms of perceived value, right? So meaning it's kind of put Ethereum in it's kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out right now of that like legacy kind of precious type of asset in the digital world. And institutions and corporations are going to shove it completely there, by the way. And so Bitcoin's already there. We already talked about that. It's made it to this like S&P kind of like status where it's a TradFi asset. Ethereum's halfway there. Ethereum will get there. And once that happens, it doesn't matter what these layer ones that launch and all this stuff, because that's not going to be the main reason people hold it. The reason why people hold it is because people wanted to hold it and they can earn yield and they can do all these things. And there's only 71 million and it's deflationary and there's all these other aspects to it. But more than so, it has always been number two. And because it's been number two, it will get pushed into that category as well. Bitcoin will always be the best. And I think we both believe that. But in terms of these layer ones, I think this is just business. This is capitalism at its finest. They're basically coming in here. They're saying, hey, we're going to do our own thing with a chain. We're going to use our stable coin to promote it more. It's business 101. That's what's happening here.
100%. I agree. I think this is so bullish for Ethereum, though, because think about it, though. If you want to borrow against something, right? You're probably gonna be borrowing against ETH. If you want to, build DeFi and that's the thing too with Circle. This is gonna be a centralized blockchain, right? They're gonna be, if you try to do a meme coin over there, they can potentially blacklist it from all the dexes to where you can't buy it, right? So this is going to be very centralized blockchain, but Ethereum is going to be bridged over. And if you want to do decentralization, you'll just bridge to Ethereum, right? And there'll probably be some products that are built that are using Ethereum in the back end, bridging it over for you, so you don't have to do any of that to make it all decentralized. I love this. I think this is absolutely amazing and one of the most bullish things for Ethereum, that even though it's not on Ethereum, but I do think the ETH token alone bridged in is going to be absolutely insane. And we're noticing now these bridges, Stargate and stuff, that they're working amazing, right? They're actually going to be huge, and this is going to open up opportunity for Stargate as well and Layer 0 to make sure these bridges for these L1 blockchains are compatible right away, like in seconds with Ethereum. I'm really excited for Ethereum's price with these.
Yeah, and not just that too, by the way. And I think you might have kind of hit on this a little bit, but like, because Circle and Stripe are looking at these blockchains as kind of their place to do business, you look at them as sort of like a bank as well, right? I know that we've compared wallets to banks and protocols to banks and chains now to banks because it's so versatile over in Web3 that those three things can be looked at as banks. And when I say that in this aspect, I'm talking about, hey, look, why don't you bring your ETH over here and then you can earn such and such percentage over. What they're going to do is they're going to actually stake it on the ETH validator or whatever for on your behalf, you know. But for people that don't know how things work in the back end and stuff, they'll do that. You know, we'll handle it for you. Just come into our office or just, you know, whatever, right? And so it's going to be a completely different world once we start to see the, you know, actual commerce happening in big volume for regular everyday people. But that's what I think they're shooting for here, or maybe a B2B approach. Whichever it is, they're doing it for business.
Yeah, 100%. People are going to be using blockchain and not even knowing they're using blockchain. They're just going to make normal bank transactions. But no, the wire is dead. No one's going to be using wire no more. Everyone's going to be using stablecoin transactions on the back end. And the days of needing a bank, I think, are gone as well. Like, obviously, there will be people to continue to use banks and stuff like that. But for me, I'm going to be using a decentralized wallet, and I'm going to be using these blockchains to do it, like holding my assets on Stripe or Circle here. And let's kind of get into that because that's a big part of it too. So Stripe is developing a blockchain called Tempo in partnership with crypto VC Paradigm, described as a high-performance payments-focused blockchain, layer one blockchain built from scratch rather than on top of another protocol like Ethereum. Its functions are a standalone base layer designed for high-performance payments, focused use cases, real-time and cross-border transactions environments. This is absolutely huge. Again, crazy how they both came out at the same time, Circle and Stripe. But Stripe is the leader in payments. If you use a credit card, you're potentially using Stripe in the back end. Now Stripe is coming online, and they are announcing too that they will be they're going to be putting out a stablecoin themselves, and that will be their gas token on this as well. I didn't want to add another line in this, but yeah, so Stripe's going to have a stablecoin just like Circle. Stripe could be one of the biggest stablecoin providers in the world if they're using credit cards, and when you swipe your credit card, it's going from one wallet to another wallet. I mean, and then that wallet's going to be your potentially your bank account. It's going to get pretty nuts, even if that is centralized a little bit. I absolutely love Circle and Stripe right now coming, and they're building on Ethereum. Technically, they're just forking Ethereum, making it faster, making it centralized, and doing their thing.
Yeah, well, that's the argument that Samson Mao gives, is that, well, they can just fork it and, you know, not need Ethereum won't be needed. That's just so far from the truth. It's funny, but this is big, you know, and this is an arms race that probably should have happened 5 years ago. But because the United States is the way it has been towards Web3, it just put shackles on these companies that have so much capital. And, you know, these are companies in a capitalist country, right? Yeah. And so this is exactly what happens whenever the shackles are released and regulation comes in. Now you're seeing an arms race to payments. Now you're seeing an arms race to interest earned with Ethereum, interest earned on other assets. It's not going to just stop at Ethereum. There's going to be BNB interest earned. There's going to be the proof of stake idea is going to be full in force in the next 5 to 10 years. And when I say full in force, you're going to talk about all types of financial products offering everything, you know, and they're going to be fighting for it because they know that that's money. You as a customer to them, you are dollar signs to them. And so this is exciting because we get to be a part of this. You guys that are listening right now, you get to be in the early days of innovation, of a flip of a financial system.
100%. And getting in early to some of these, you know, because they have the chain, right? People are going to be building on these chains, right? And being in early in some of those products could be absolutely huge. There's a lot of opportunity coming our way, guys. I don't think you guys understand how much opportunity is sitting on your lap right now, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. And we're going to help you guys make sure that you're taking advantage of it if you are willing to play the game. But let's jump into some other stuff here. South Korean investors bought 259 million of BitMine in July, making it their top overseas stock. So South Korea seems to be one of the countries that are really leading the crypto race right now, but they're buying stuff like BitMine, who's holding Ethereum. So this is to them, it's very risk off. They don't got to hold their own Ethereum. They don't got to hold Ethereum. They got to hold the ETF, nothing like that. They just buy a company called BitMine who is staking it and potentially going to go higher in value because of that, right? So what do you think about South Korea, the investors over there? $259 million of BitMine in July, bro. It's not even including August.
Yeah, I think it's big, right? And I think it's so Tom Lee is actually Korean.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's his company, right? BitMine.
Yeah. BitMine.
Okay, so this was just like a perfect setup. This was like an alley-oop for him. He's going. He's Korean American, obviously. You know, I don't know if he's born here, but he has those ties. And in for what we hear from partners like Jeff from Merlin Chain and other people that dabble in the Asia market for crypto, South Korea is absolutely crazy about cryptocurrency. And for them, some of the older people, they're like in America, like there's old money there, right? And those old money people, they're not as crazy about crypto as like how it is. The younger people are crazier here, just like the same thing in South Korea, but the younger people are really crazy about it. But the older people, they like stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They want to go into something that feels like, okay, they can trust this guy. Yeah, he's Korean American or whatever. He runs this BitMine company, and now they can have access to this instead of getting their hands dirty and trying to figure out how to, you know, get a ledger and buy Bitcoin or sorry, add Ethereum to their ledger or whatever, et cetera, right? So I think this just brings some comfort, because there is one thing, like they are crazy about crypto in Korea, but if any small sniff of scam or anything like that, they will just very much like, okay, we don't know how it works, or you know, we don't want to deal with that. They want easy. This is easy.
Yeah, this feels like a boomer play too. Like this is the boomers to me getting in. This is their crypto.
The old money over there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Do you remember what the second largest stablecoin was last cycle in 2021?
Oh, hold on, let me guess.
It doesn't exist anymore. That's the hint.
Luna?
No.
Okay, not USDT.
Luna was 3.
Okay. It doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't exist anymore.
That's very, very sad. Okay.
Yeah.
It crashed. It's not that weird one, the magic money one.
You ready?
Yeah.
So it was BUSD, Binance.
Oh, well, yeah, but that didn't exist because of regulations, though.
Well, so this company Paxos was the reason why it existed. So Binance did a partnership with Paxos. Paxos was the ones holding the collateral. Paxos was ordered during the Biden administration to stop all stablecoins because they had a gold-backed stablecoin. They had a, their business model was destroyed because of the Biden administration that is right now being built by everyone else, right? So BUSD was the number 2 stablecoin in transaction volume the entire cycle last cycle. It doesn't exist anymore. It's just gone. Boosh. Right? They was 1-to-1 with the USDT. So now USDT is the number 1 traded asset on Binance, right? But isn't that crazy? But Paxos now has applied for a U.S. National Trust Bank license, joining Circle and Ripple. And I think this would be absolutely the biggest FU to the Biden administration if they get a banking license after being almost destroyed by that administration.
Well, you know who was the one that was guiding that last
fraud. Yeah.
Well, her and Gigi, because Gigi was not happy with Binance, right? Because of the whole collapse, right, of FTX. And so there's no way that was going to continue under their power, which goes to show you like how bitter and petty that they were, because they were the ones that were, being shady in the first place. But anyways, but that's I was thinking of something that failed, and I felt like BUSD
technically it failed,
but it didn't fail because of collateral issues or anything on their part. It failed because of manipulation on the previous administration side. So that's actually the opposite in my opinion. But they don't need BUSD to be extremely successful. So they
were a Circle competitor. Circle's right.
They were
asset to them.
They were, but I mean, I'm just saying they have so many other things now, and don't they have? Are they just kind of partnering with the Trump stable coin so they don't have their own anymore still, right?
Okay. No, they're using. So right now USDT is the number 1 traded stable coin over there, but they are doing pairs now off of a Pancake Swap using USD1, which is the Trump backed stable coin.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. But yeah, I think that was huge. I think I would love for Paxos to get this too, the National Trust Banking license. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, they should send like a fruit cake to Gary Gensler.
All right, last thing before we get into the fear and greed. Jeff Bezos Blue Origin now takes Bitcoin and other cryptos, including stablecoins, for space flights. And is Amazon next in line? What do you think?
Yes. They better be. Like when you have Stripe coming out and creating their own blockchain and for payments, they specifically said for payments, man.
Yeah.
Like in don't be shocked if PayPal comes out with their own blockchain, or the competitors do too. Amazon could very well do the same thing, and also cut out whoever their payment processor is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Amazon could save Amazon could save money in processing payments because of Web3. And I think I'm sure the payment processing companies and the banks and all the kind of the mafia that got a hit every time someone bought a piece of gum at the gas station, right? Like they're not happy about this. But at the end of the day, innovation makes things easier and cheaper for the end user. And at this point, it's the vendor, and hopefully it's the consumer as well, right? The consumer, we're hoping that we don't have to pay as much in fees, because if the end user like Amazon can cut out who their payment processor is from the credit card side, and now they can charge like cheaper to the end user, that'd be it's good for everybody.
It's 2% cheaper on every item, right? I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's a lot when you think about it. But I do see Bezos kind of just falling in line here and doing a deal with Circle or doing a deal with Stripe, so they don't have to do this themselves. I mean, they have all the firepower to do it.
Some will do that,
right? But I think doing a partnership with Stripe, it kind of takes some off your back a little bit, especially if you don't want to hire a crypto division and stuff like that, right? So
why wouldn't you hire a crypto division? I feel like you should. You know what I mean?
Partner with a company. I think a lot of companies are going to just partner with an outside, because crypto's so
that's the wrong move, though.
It's kind of goes back to what you said about Cathie Wood, about she doesn't want to take on the responsibility. Different. But I'm just saying the same thing with Bezos, though, right? Why would he want to take on if
because he
gets hacked or something?
Because he's a huge entrepreneur, like huge business that like has transactions on every single millions of transactions every day, right? So that's different versus hiring a research team for Cathie Wood and stuff like that. So I think both, like, Cathie Wood should hire a research team and know what they're talking about and all these things.
Oh, well, she has a research team.
Yeah,
they just don't
for crypto specifically. But then I think Amazon needs a Web3 team. 1,000% they need a Web3 team to make themselves more efficient and stay ahead of everything. This also could be too, because maybe like Justin Sun was like, I'm going to pay you in Bitcoin or something, whenever he went up there. So
yeah, no, 100%. I'm sure he paid in stablecoin USDT.
And then they were like, okay, Bitcoin, fine. Tron, no, I'm just kidding.
All right. Let's get into today's crypto fear and greed here. So last Tuesday, we were at a 55. Yesterday, we were at a 62. We are surprisingly, and for me anyway, lower than 62, but not much. Where do you think we're at today?
60.
Boom. Right on the noggin there. 60 round number. I'm surprised by this. Are you?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I mean, I think last night we were falling down a bit, right? If we look here. Not really, actually. So around that time, that 1800, okay, so we had just taken a pretty big dump from for Bitcoin, going from 122 to 118, and then started going sideways. So that's probably why.
Yeah, 100%. That I'm thinking the same. Yep. All right. Let's get into the Bitcoin price action, brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura is going to be joining us in about 19 minutes, guys. So get excited. Put your comments in there to them as well. Remember, they are building a Bitcoin leverage trading platform where you guys can take leverage on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USD right now, USDT. But soon you will be able to add, they're going to be adding a whole bunch of other assets there. But Botanix recently had a couple maintenance things that they were doing. So now the chain is up and running good again. We're waiting for the 2100 A Bitcoin world to be up with the Artura. Once that is, we're going to be doing an airdrop video to show you guys exactly how to get potential airdrops from different projects building on Botanix. Really excited for that, because Botanix is going to be giving away Bitcoin as well to people that do these tasks and stuff. So we're breaking that down for you guys. But if you haven't joined Artura.finance on Botanix yet, you need to be over there, because they have a very small group so far, and growing that is going to be huge, especially when the airdrops and stuff happening, because you can be potentially 50 people, 100 people that get this potential airdrop from different places. So really excited to show this guy to you guys, because you guys are going to get free money technically, right? So this is I love shilling on opportunities of free money, and this is highly recommend going over there. Small money, small leverage, get on that board, make some noise over there, play with the different dApps, and let's get free money. We love it here at OnChain Revolution, and check out Artura.finance.
Absolutely, guys. And before we get into the Bitcoin price action here, help us out on the YouTube side. Smash that like, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And then you on the X side, let's share the space, get more people in here, and then Abstract and Twitch and Kick and what's the other one? The radio one, I forget. Spotify as well, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. All right, let's take a look at some Bitcoin price action here. What was that one chart called with the 3? It was called something.
Total 3.
Total 3. That's the one I was looking for. I'm going to add that in there. I really like that one. Maybe it's just the total 3. There we go. All right. Let's start with Bitcoin here. But this is what I was talking about yesterday. As you can see, it dropped from 122 all the way down to that 118.6. And then we started going sideways. So that's where that score came in. You can see right here around 6, 7, and 8 o'clock p.m. That's whenever that happened. And then we dropped a little bit. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a rise back up here. The man, we were in some pretty deep sell pressure, though. As you can see, that MACD sell pressure looks huge right there. This was really big. It looks like a whale, actually. But then you see we did cross back over the fast line, cross back over the slow line. So we have officially come back into the buy pressure. So that's really, really good. Let's take a look at what's happening here at the local levels. We are going to pull back data to yesterday, 6. Let's go a little bit more deep, more local than that. We'll go 2 a.m. today. All right, let's take a look at where we're at right now. We're at right under 120, 119,700 right here. And then you can see the support is definitely overpowering the resistance here. So this is good because you see there's not a ton of volume here, which means that if we do get some, consistent buy bids here, we can really push up and then start to see where we can head above the 120 area there. So that's something to keep your eye on for the rest of today. Can we get back to 120? And if we do we see a kind of an upwards like flight? Because that is definitely possible. We're winning all of these levels right here, and then support below as well, right? We don't switch back over until we get to 119,425. So I feel like we're in a really good spot for the hour chart. You can see the MACD looks really strong for the buy pressure as well. So probably see some upward trajectory, guys, for the next 2, 4, 6 hours is what the hour chart is telling us for Bitcoin. Let's take a look here at the 4-hour chart. This looks good as well. You can see that the sell pressure is starting to weaken. We get a good 1-hour chart for the next 2, 4, 6 hours. We can come out of the sell pressure and give us a good Wednesday, Thursday, heading into the weekend. So that's something to keep your eye on as well. So 4-hour chart looks really good as well. I don't know. This pattern to me is kind of like maybe it's trying to form some sort of maybe a little bit of a cup here. Maybe we bounce out. That would be perfect for this because it would take us out of sell pressure. If we did see a little bit of a pullback here and then we bounce out, we'll see. So 4-hour looks good as well. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily looks like we are officially in buy pressure. Now, the candles on the MACD they're not huge yet. We're only on the second one right now, but this tells me that we're starting, right? So we're starting. We're going to see if Bitcoin can get aggressive, because if we can, we might see something pretty crazy here and start another leg up for Bitcoin and really get to that 125. We get to that 125, that's when everybody's going to get wrecked on the short side. I would love to see that. I'm just kidding. I don't want to see anybody fail, but I do not like to see bears win during a bull market year. All right, so that is looking really good for Bitcoin there. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum on the monthly. This was the chart that we were looking at earlier. Man, that monthly candle is looking better now. It's just getting bigger. It's looking stronger. We are well above the resistance areas from the last 3 attempts at 4,000. Now we're here. We have arrived. We're sitting at 4,400 right now. Let's take a look at the hour to see kind of what we can expect for today. We reset this chart here. Wow. I mean, look at this, dude, on the hour chart. This just looks so good. This looks so good, dude. This looks, I mean, Ethereum just looks really, really good. All right, let's see if this will continue out here. Obviously, we're going to be dominating the local areas here. You can see right here going back to 5 a.m. today. You can see we are just dominating 31.8. So 3,000, like 200 transactions to 1,200 transactions on the support side. up here it's dominating. It's dominating down. It's dominating all the way down. Up here is the first sign of resistance that has any type of power is back at the 4411. I guess it's not that. It's different whenever you look at Bitcoin because it's like hundreds of dollars versus tens of dollars. But still, I mean, we are seeing pretty much total domination up in these areas, which means that we can really blow up past here, and then we'll see. Maybe we do see something crazy with the all-time high by Friday, but we shall see. That's what the hour chart is showing us. Let's see what the 4-hour chart. I guarantee we're in the green here. Oh, not yet. So, but this is a bullish setup. So this is a bullish setup in my opinion, because if we, have that continuing bullish day on the hour chart, the next 2, 4, 6 hours, which I don't see a reason why we wouldn't, after we just went over it, then we come out of sell pressure. We come out of sell pressure on the 4-hour, right? And then we once this blue line crosses the orange, we have a good rest of the day today, and we could see that Friday situation. I would love to see you be right on that. Because for me, I'm the one that always
being right.
I'm the one that always tries to pump the brakes a bit, in terms of trying to get too bullish. But I haven't been able to contain myself with Ethereum since July. I've just been really bullish.
Rightfully so, though. You're right. You know what I mean? Like, you're right to be bullish right now.
So
I think people are not bullish enough.
Well, I guess if I'm extra bullish, then that's a good sign if you're a bullish person, because I'm typically not extra bullish. You know what I mean? So, but everything's
I don't
just
consider myself extra bullish. I'm very in line.
No, you're extra
I can
bullish.
be more.
Yeah, you
I
could,
can be more.
but don't. I'm telling you not to be. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Ethereum looks really good, man. I love where we are with it. I think that August is gonna just continually bring, really good results for Ethereum. September though is kind of that area. I just want to prepare people's mentality, and I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm not going to be. But all right, let's take a look here at the total 3. The total 3 here is everything besides Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stable. So you take all those out, and they look pretty good. You can see that this is the daily chart, mind you. You can see that the sell pressure, we're starting to come out of it. But this is right here. We need to have some convincing, convincing data from the MACD, in my opinion. Like, we need to get a big green candle here. And the reason why I say that is because there's still these conversations, whether it's from Benjamin Cohen or people that are in the space that know what they're talking about, saying that Ethereum is going to take a lot of liquidity. It's not going to go into these altcoins just yet. So he's kind of right. He's pretty much right so far, but Ethereum has been in the driver's seat, I would say, for about a little over a month. So let's see what happens here in the next month and a half, because I think there's going to be a time, whether it's after rate cuts or we get the confirmation for the rate cut, or et cetera, that a lot of things turn bullish, and that's when we'll start to get the MACD to look like this. Back in July, it looks pretty good, for all these coins. Goodness gracious. That's actually
real quick too. Like, I'm just considering ETH the new Bitcoin, the Bitcoin cycle of last cycle. So it took Bitcoin getting to all-time high of 20,000 before Ethereum even started to take off, before then the alts really started to take off. So I think Ethereum needs to get back to all-time high before stuff like Solana and XRP and stuff can really take the next leg up.
Yeah, I agree with that, by the way. I completely agree with that. I think you're right on that. And we'll see if that's the case, though, right? Because Ethereum getting to an all-time high will trigger bullishness, and it didn't have that opportunity. And if you think about Q4 of 2024, when last time Ethereum touched $4,000, Solana hit all-time high, and Solana's ecosystem was pretty thriving at that point, right? But and I think not everything else was really taken off. Really, some sectors were, but Ethereum hits all-time high. I think that's kind of like a go signal for a lot of these other ecosystems as well. So that's what we're seeing right now. For the total 3, I do want to see some more convincing and confident data from the MACD here on the daily for the total 3. But I think it's coming. I think it's coming. Like you said, Ethereum getting closer to that all-time high, hitting it is going to really encourage this chart. And once we see that, we will definitely go into a different type of price action, I think, for these. I think myself is saying that the total 3 is, it says excluding Bitcoin and ETH, and then there's a $sign. But maybe this is the one. Yeah, I mean, they're the same. So it says excluding BTC, ETH, and stable coins. So it's the same chart here, the total 3. But yeah, definitely I'm going to kind of switch off and on with the total 3 and the others, because I do like looking at the others as well, because it takes out some of the other blue chips that probably gives us more of a good view with mid caps and micro caps. So I'll definitely start to include that as well. But taking a look here at the crypto bubbles, let's take a look at the top 100 here. All right, some big notable ones. Wow, Fartcoin is down 11.7%. Monero pulled back 7.1%. Maker DAO pulled back 2.3%. You got IP from Story Protocol pulling back 10.1%. Virtuals pulled back 1.9%. Pengu pulled back 3.1%. You got SPX, I think it's the largest meme coin on Solana, pulled back 2.7%, and Bonk pulling back 3.5% there. But some of the stuff that's in the green, let's take a look. Jasmy up 5.8%. You got Chainlink up 9.1%. They must have been in the news for something. Aerodrome up 7.7%. XTZ, that's Tezos, I believe, is up 6.8%. You got Arbitrum up 2.9%. Optimism up 1.9%. Tron up 1.1%. Hex up 2.3%. BNB pulling up 1.3%. Aave pulling up 4.6%. Algorand pulling up 3.2%. Tau pulling up 1.4%. Near Protocol up 2% there. What else? Aptos up 1.4%. Uniswap up 3.9%. ICP pulling up 1.1%. Sui pulling up 2.1%. HBAR pulling up 0.8%. AVAX with 1.9% in the green. Ondo pulling up 2.5%. XRP pulling up 0.2%. And you got Sheeb pulling up 1.3%. Let's take a look at the top 200 and see if anything sticks out here. Zora pulling back 21.8%, which
that needed a pullback.
Yeah,
That
not too surprising. It was on a heater for sure. And then you got Syrup, which is a part of the Maple Protocol, pulling back 3.9%. Rect pulling back 3.3%. Meme Land pulling back 3.3%. B pulling back 6.8%. Beam pulling back 1.7%. BSV pulling back 1.7%. Cato pulling back 0.7%. What else we got in here that's red? Dog pulling back 1% there. In the green, we got Toshi pulling up 4.8%. Mog pulling up 1.6%. Starknet pulling up 1.8%. Pulse pulling up 3.3%. So Pulse and Hex are both in the green. Plus Pulse X up 3.3% here. Typically, those do align together. You got Snek, the #1 meme coin on Cardano, pulling up 3.4% there. Sun, the protocol on Tron, up 2% there. Ape from Ape Chain up 1.7%. Kava up 1.5%. Gala up 2% there. ZK from, I think, what is this, Layer Zero?
Yeah.
No, ZK. Yeah. Up 2.1%. Frax up 2.2%. ZBCN, our guy Courtney Johnson, up 1.3% there. And I think that will wrap it up. But, you know, there's not really any rhyme or reason, I feel like, for today. It's like some memes are off. Some memes are really on. So I think it's just a little mixed bag maybe of what the performances were maybe a couple days ago, and they're just flip-flopping a little bit. But, yeah, interesting day for the markets for sure.
Yeah. Everything's waiting for ETH to hit all-time high. That's what it feels like. Everything's just waiting. Everything's waiting around, and then you're going to see an explosion when that gets there. And it does. I do think it gets there quickly. But let's jump into the roll call here. So every day we take the first comment of the day, and that is my man Webdro. Congratulations to you, my friend. You have win number 43 on the year. Absolutely killing it now. Lucky Lukey has not been fighting this battle, but we'll see if he continues. Still plenty of time left for everybody. A lot of ones now on this list. Let me show it real quickly. So yeah, so 43 for the thing. Malam Yuri had won yesterday. I plus X won on last Thursday. But shout out to all you guys who makes this list. It's going to be very, very awesome for you to make that list. 100%. Let's move along here. We got Merlin's Lucky is here. Shout out to Merlin's Lucky, that number 2 spot. Appreciate you, my friend. Mats says Nat. I'm sorry, Mats, but you need a okay. I'm not gonna say it. You really need to understand what's about to happen with that. But yeah, Lackey Lukey is here. Congrats, Webdro, GM guys. Hydro Sapien is here, my guy. Followed by he says dog go to the moon. Yes, 100%, man. ASAP Benji is here. Shout out to ASAP Benji. Bitcoin is truth is here. Abstract, my guy, every single day, man. I'm waiting for that abstract airdrop. That's going to be a big one, guys. If you're not playing with abstract, you need to be over there. Kane99 is here. This is Billy getting listed today. I'm actually expecting $1 Billion Cat to get listed today or tomorrow. We're going to talk about that a little bit as well. Satoshi Nakamoto says, when meme coin this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be dropping that meme coin. Spintrip says, you guys are dropping a meme coin? Yes, we are dropping a meme coin this Sunday. Vader Time says, drop it today. No, we're not dropping it today. Tim Baker says, when big pump, what Tuesday? So that next Tuesday, you'll see everything will be running. Everything will be hard. Next Tuesday will be the pump for sure. Cash Cats is here with the dog go to the moon. The dog, the coffee and the donuts and the dog go to the moon. I almost messed that one up today, Cash. Sorry about that, buddy. Chief Axel is here. Shout out to Chief Axel, my guy. KDN is here, says GM, and CPI came in great. Yes, it couldn't have come in better, actually, I think, especially with the inflation data. KDN says, let's pump it. Cuts coming. Yes, sir. 100%. Cash Cat says, will it be called Yagobi or Shagizi? We talked about that earlier. It will not be called those. It actually has a great name. Myself says, Jeter's going to G. Instead of buying the lows, Jeter's sell the lows. Don't let weak-handed fudders make your fumble away from the future of wealth. Yes, 100%. I couldn't have said that better myself. Absolutely huge. Matt says, Ordinal Revolution OG pass holders, the real OGs. I held mine since February 2024. Yes, we're now that it's going to be a Rune, and we talked to the guys over at Rune's Mine. Me and Yagobi have to talk yet. We haven't got a chance to talk since the meeting, but I'm thinking about airdropping all the holders, potentially some of that.
We got to figure it out. Yeah, we got to figure it out.
We'll talk about it. Cash Cats says BNB was the first big play after Bitcoin hit all time. Yes. Nighthawk UXL is here. He says GM Maestros. Yes. GM to you, my friend. Cash Cat says BUSD. Yes. Cash got it, man. Pax Bank and NYC still good for Pax G. So okay, so Pax Gold is still a thing. That's pretty cool. Cash said failed versus shut down. Yeah, 100%. Patty Poo is here, the Bitcoin machine himself. He says sup, my guy. Appreciate you, my friend. Myself says the USDT ties to US banks are evident. Chico Crypto covers it pretty well. Oh yeah, I haven't watched him in a while.
Dude, yeah, he was covering runes back in the day.
Yeah. Well, no, BRC20s.
Oh yeah, sorry, BRC20s.
Yeah, for sure.
What was the one? I can't remember it.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Yeah, and Oshi.
Oh, I hope nobody got into that. We Abdul Unitas here, my guy. Yo, back, baby. It's been a while, man. He said, buy a crypto. Nope, not buying that. Myself says total 3. So we talked about that already. We got myself says, okay, but the total 3. He said, oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Yes, the total 3 covers everything besides stablecoins, ETH, and Bitcoin. Mochain said, what about Odin stats becoming unstoppable soon? Odin, yeah. So Odin's dropping their token. Odin Fund.
Oh, really?
So airdrop.
That's what I'm saying is that, like, you know, we might end up putting some liquidity on Odin Fund as well. We're gonna do what's best for the community and token as well. We have to do that, obviously. But man, shout out to Bob Bodley, bro. I'm gonna tell you something, dude. Whoever's doing a kind of scaled, you know, launch pad for Bitcoin runes or LRC20s, whatever it's gonna be, Bob Bodley is the blueprint, because they did 1,000. Yeah. They've done, dude. Their BTC volume is getting crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's getting wild over there.
I'm just saying.
100%. Should we launch it over there? He said,
I mean, you
guys launch the token?
We want liquidity
pools. Yeah, we want liquidity pool on Solana. That's why we're launching it on Solana. But hey, we might put a liquidity pool on Odin as well. But we'll see. We're gonna be bridging that in to Bitcoin. We did, like I said before, we talked to Jeff about doing that as well from RuneMine. Nagus is here. It's GM Nagus, and then Stan finishing up. He said when Coinbase opens their platform to all projects to be listed, will listings pump be deactivated? Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're able to buy them, regardless if they're listed or not on the actual exchange, if you can go through a DEX to get them, yeah, 100%. I don't think it's going to be a huge thing anymore. But it's time for us to jump into our next segment here. So every single week, we like to have our good friends over at Artura join the show. We talk about them every single day. They power the Bitcoin price action. These guys are building something truly special. They're building a leverage trading DEX on Botanix. Botanix just upgraded their chain recently. Just saw the tweet an hour ago. Absolutely awesome. This only benefits Artura. You guys need to get over there and immediately take out low leverage, low money, and mess around Artura. You will be grateful when the time comes, 100%. But let's bring the guys up. Let's bring up Instant Murion. Guys, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey.
So, how has everything been? In terms of obviously the team is building out still with Botanix, but Murion, you're curating the community here. So let's start with you. You've been telling everybody on the show on Tuesdays, kind of, hey, let's relax. Let's not get too emotional with things. Is the message I've been getting. And it seems like you were right. Ethereum is starting to unleash the beast here. So could you go into that? In what makes you kind of be able to relax during moments of anxiety, I guess, that other people have? And then also, how's the Artura community been kind of reacting to I guess, the way that you've been, talking about that and stuff, the messaging?
And who's winning the hardest? I think that's the question.
Yeah, so guys, when you're in the doubt, you just zoom out, and you zoom out and see where the real picture is. And especially with Ethereum, like all the guys know, and you also guys, we went through what and how, and now you're seeing that breakthrough from the swing high on the monthly chart, which is insanely bullish. We can go to the weekly time frame. We have a disrespect of the swing high, which is also incredibly bullish, potentially creating fair value gap. And if it close like this, that fair value gap actually has a potential to not be filled. So preparing for scenario up only. Daily is also bullish, like we see 6% up today on Ethereum. It's leading besides the Bitcoin, because now the volume is in Ethereum. It's a stronger pair short term wise, and potentially we are setting up a narrative to go higher from here.
Yeah, one thing I mentioned in our show earlier today was that we're seeing a lot of the similar narratives, headlines that we saw for Bitcoin about 8 months ago, right? Like addresses that are numbers of addresses that are holding this much Bitcoin in it have increased. Institutions are now creating Bitcoin strategic reserves. Now, all those stories are just now pushed over to Ethereum. And so should the expectation be that Ethereum's about to see some hyper aggressive push, just like Bitcoin got to get to 123? It will see something similar, or what is your perspective on that?
Potentially, yeah. Like, we still didn't reach new all-time high, and we are in a bull cycle. So this is the next target. Like, we need to see above 5K on Ethereum.
Oh, I think we lost you, Murion.
You still there?
And yeah, yo.
Okay. I think the last thing that we heard was that we still haven't hit all-time high for Ethereum. So that's the next narrative that needs to or that's the next thing that needs to happen here. And that's great that you go ahead.
And it will be easily, because we are seeing, like you said, all these bullish headlines. I see guys from America raising like 20 billion to buy Ethereum. So
yeah, that was me.
Yeah, so like the same scenarios are happening, and it's just like flipping the volume from BTC into Ethereum, because crypto markets don't have that much liquidity yet. So this is why the flippenings are happening, and like from BTC inflow to the Ethereum, and after the Ethereum run, we're gonna have altcoin season and all that stuff. Because like crypto total market cap is like one US stock. So
Yeah.
you can see how early we are actually.
So do you see the cycle ending this year, or do you see a potential push to early next year, maybe even May of next year?
I just know that Q4 should be like insanely bullish, potentially like the November 2024. But we'll see how we respect the levels around the New Year time, and we can see afterwards from that point. But this cycle was like really tricky. It was pretty long bear run, right? So we'll see. Maybe this is extended cycle, like some guys are saying, because all the Trump pro crypto stuff and all that. But I just believe that market cycles are.
I think we lost them again.
Maybe we'll come back.
Yeah,
we'll jump over to
mega
to
extra
Instant here.
prolonged cycle.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Instant, man. So recently, I just seen this tweet from Botanix this morning, or Botanix, right? I think that's how they pronounce it. This was from, I want to say, not long ago, but the upgrade was successful, completed. Once all operators voted in, the upgrade triggered automatically with the 0 downtime, a major milestone. Do you know what's happening a little bit? Maybe you can kind of tell the audience what is happening on Botanix right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a tech guy by any means, but I do know that it's an upgrade that's going to just improve the the user experience chain wide. I believe like they're actually trying to bring down some previous fees. So if you had used the platform used the network before, and those things were a little expensive, I think they're bringing it down and they're just increasing the speed in which it operates. I think they have like a staking token as well for earning more yield on your BTC. I think that's coming out as well. So yeah, some bullish things going on in the chain. Always excited to be part of the ecosystem, and there's even more bullish news on the horizon as well.
Oh, what you got? What you got, bud?
Well, I think in reference to what we were talking about earlier, like obviously I think we're seeing a lot of longs being placed on the perp decks because of the bullish sentiments that are going out. So a lot of long positions overall, and we also just implemented our leaderboard on our app. So everyone's got like P&L tracking and volume, etc., and I think this is gonna set up some events in the future, potentially related to competitions, maybe some like mini games that we'll host. So it's like it's a step forward in terms of like some really cool things that we're gonna announce in the near future.
Yeah, 100%. And you guys, I think a lot of people have a lot of opportunity right now to jump over here to bridge into Botanix. It's actually super easy. We actually put a video out on how to do it and how to get the PUSD and do this. But I highly recommend everyone get on this leaderboard. Right? I mean, they're going to be very happy to be on this leaderboard. Am I correct?
Yeah, definitely get on the leaderboard. And if you feel like you're behind by any means, like we have some very juicy stuff to be announced next week actually in relation to this. So I have to be kind of vague right now, but yeah, we'll have some alpha coming out throughout the week, so users can piece it together probably.
Amazing. Yeah, and we're gonna be doing a new series with you guys. We're gonna be removing this part from the Tuesday show, which I know a lot of you guys enjoy. I do get good feedback from these. But we're gonna be we want to extend that to do trading competitions live and have fun with what you guys are building here and bring in traders to kind of teach and really start educating. Like no longer these updates and market talk, but more of a show where we do get in the market talk, we do get in the updates, but we also spend a lot of time learning trading, talking to guys like Ace and a lot of the other guys we've toast and a lot of guys we've done interviews with, bringing them back and really looking at the process behind the trade, not just the trade itself.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can get like I don't know how much we can say already about this, but yeah, I think we can get like really into like the meat and potatoes of like trading and all these like wonderful things that we're trying to build out, and it'll be better for everybody to connect with us too, and we're gonna have like expert traders on, things like that, so people can improve their game as well.
Yeah, I love it, man. What are you guys seeing stats wise? Is mainly everyone going long? Because I'm somebody I can't go short. I don't know what Yagobi, but I can't sleep at night if I go short. I feel like I traded my team.
Can you sleep? Can you sleep at night if you go long?
Yeah, easy. If it's a low leverage long, 100%, right? But if I'm gonna get liquidated on a $200 job, I'm gonna get scared. But I'm just curious, Instant. What are you guys seeing from the back end here?
Yeah, I think we're still getting the data, but I think sort of the sentiment's been said that definitely a lot of long positions are being opened here. People are bullish, which is good news. I'm always curious about to learn what people are doing behind the scenes and kind of what's the trading psychology behind that. I'm not a great trader by any means. I'll give Murion is definitely way better than me when it comes to that aspect. So. My win rate isn't the best, but I still love seeing what everyone's doing and what the always hearing about market analysis and things like that.
Yeah, I think. I was just gonna say, I think that even if people aren't into trading, I think it's good just to be educated on it.
Exactly.
Right. And because it gives you, even if you're a spot trader, it helps a ton because spot traders are really good for swing type of trading. And so you learn these time frames that are, from the small to the large time frames, and you learn how to use them, and they help tremendously if you want to spot swing trade. But if you're a DCA guy like Shizzy, that's typically what his strategy is. And of course, you're not going to, swing trade, but you can still be educated on it. And Shizzy has been educated on, these different aspects of trading, to where he can chart and he can do different things like that, to a certain extent. And I think that that's important to get sentiment of where the market is going, where you think it is. And it's just good to be educated in general, whatever, if you're involved with that industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the value that we try to bring to you guys and your users and our users as well, just in general by having people like Murion or some of our other core traders sort of help educate myself included on what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. And you're not really a big trader. I'm not a really big trader, but there's opportunity for us with Artura, right? There's opportunities that I don't need to trade to actually potentially get points and everything that kind of leads with points. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Wait, can you rephrase that?
Yeah, sure. So, I'm not really a trader. You're not really a trader, but there's still opportunity for us on Artura to kind of get on the leaderboard and kind of potentially get points and stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, also, you also don't have to on Artura, you don't have to trade necessarily to even, make some profit or make money. Depositing our vault is a really great way to to earn just passively. How Artura kind of works on the back end is, we are the counterparty in every trade, and so when you deposit into the vault, you provide liquidity to facilitate all these trades going on in the background. And so, essentially, you can earn up to 30%, APY just from depositing over time, and that doesn't require any trading, and you're still a part of the platform. You're still kind of degenning out here, but it's much safer, and you don't have to worry about charting or anything like that necessarily.
Yeah, 100%. I put about $5 in this. This is my test wallet, and I'm up to 539. So that's pretty cool. So it's equivalent to $500. I would have made 39
bucks.
Yeah. So
yeah, we're also we're still in the works processing some big TVL deals in the background to come out through Botanix. So I mean, all in all, we should be starting to ramp up things even further soon. So lots of opportunities to get in on the ground floor before we even have the engine really going yet.
Love it, man. Yeah. I love it.
Yep. And then also for the listeners it's going to be really important, for you guys to get educated on the new assets that are going to be, you're going to be able to trade on Artura. For example, whenever the Bitcoin asset, the fungibles get over there, whenever the derivatives of stuff like MicroStrategy, Coinbase, derivatives and stuff get traded on there. So that's going to be really exciting. I can't wait to get into that once that's available. And so make sure that you're going to, be updated on the time and day of when this new series gets rolled out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be kind of chill too. We want to make sure that, we're all having fun as well as learning at the same time.
Yep. Exactly. Murion, so last week you hit us with a couple tokens. One of them was money, and that thing ran harder than girls away from me. That thing was absolutely awesome.
Pretty hard.
I wanted.
No,
So I was wondering, how did you find something like that, and can you talk about that a little bit about the success that you had with that?
Yeah, so this was like from the trenching groups, a bit of alpha groups and all that. Like you need to have like some close communities where you are searching constantly. That's how we found Griffin as well. That went like 260x. And you just need to like expand your network and connect with likewise people to get the info. And that's how you win. That's how you can win. But actually, like when I shared to you guys, there was like some pretty easy technical aspects of the coin, and there were like some informations that are public somewhat, and that's how also you can position yourself. But I heard there was like pretty good meeting with Solana Foundation and Tolly with the dev of money and potential integrations with the Solana mobile. So that's like an alpha, but pretty big news. And Tolly is like talking constantly about privacy, and hopefully we see new Griffin run on the money.
So wait, is it integrated into the Solana Seeker?
It's not yet,
But that's the plan.
kinda. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah, too much, but pretty
Ooh,
same news.
that's crazy.
Money.
Stan
Yeah,
will like
man.
that. He always talks about the Solana Seeker. So
Yeah, man. So this is kind of the stuff that I can't wait to get into when we do the streams that we're doing with Artura, where we can kind of get into tokens that you're bullish on. Because if we sat down last week and you talked about money, our community would be super happy today, right?
Yeah.
Because they all would have seen it. They all would have seen, you would have broke it down for them, and that's kind of what we want to get out of these new streams, right?
educating for sure, and
Yeah.
you know, being able to
finding runners, dude. Finding
runners. Finding runners for sure, but also, you know, the tips that Murion and Instant give, or you know, whoever's going to be on the show with us too. Like for example, he said find a community that is working for their bags, not necessarily shilling, but doing the research. Right? Okay, look, this looks really primed to run. But the hardest part, some people will say, well, how do I find that community? First, you have to try, right? And then I think like joining the Artura community through the Discord is a great first step. So
Exactly.
Well,
you need to get some like skin in the game. You need to put the time in, effort in. There's loads of like farm groups and like shiller groups where they even paid groups that are doing like they scan like thousands of tokens daily, and then there's like few runners from the like new pairs, and they are displaying just that on the Twitter just to show their like paid group. But that's like just gambling. They just tape like every new pair, and there's no narrative, no nothing. So pure gambling, just selling you the dream. In trading industry, it's really scammy, so you need to be really careful. Like loads of farms, basically just selling you the dream. It's easy money. You don't have to put the time in it. Just follow my signals and you're gonna be rich. That's not how it works, guys.
Yeah, no, that's a great
100%.
point. You know, you need to find people that are doing actual research and not trying to sell you some subscription or anything like that. And you connect with, right? I think that's a big part of it. Is do you connect with this community, this group? Do they seem genuine? Whenever we had Ace on, we saw his community, you know, and they were in the chat cheering him on. You know, they were happy for him to be on the live stream. And that's an example of you found the right community.
Yep.
100%. All right. We do have a comment here from Nagus. He says, "Wow, TVL deals. That's bullish." Is there anything you talk about that? Like, what is a TVL deal, Instant?
Yeah, it just essentially helps provide more liquidity. You know, people in the background would be able to do that. You know, different companies or networks or organizations help do that, and it's sort of an exchange. Like, there's typically some yield that's also generated from our platform. So, you know, typically it's like pretty bullish if, like, you know, you get a large amount of TVL. I mean, like signals, that's like typically a bullish sentiment. So I can't really talk about anything too specifically, but we were getting some confirmations in. So that vault is gonna start reaching a much higher number pretty soon. So the earlier you get in as well, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah, and on top of that, like having more TVL on the platform is actually huge because it allows you to take more leverage. You guys can up the leverage a little bit. It'll allow people to potentially come on, because a lot of people, that's kind of their signal, right? Once the platform reaches a certain amount of TVL, total locked value, or total value locked, then that actually will bring in bigger traders, which will allow the trading platform to actually grow and reach out to more people as well.
Yeah, exactly. I can't get too deep into it. I don't want to give away too much, but the earlier everyone starts participating in Artura, like the more upside everyone gets, and definitely get in before all the deals roll in, because we're also trying to reward early users there.
Yeah, so stop playing around, guys. Get over there as soon as possible. Get over there today. Use the 2100A Bitcoin World. We have a video on how to do it. Get over there today. Get on that leaderboard. I promise you that it'll be worth it.
Awesome. Any other updates or anything that we might have missed, Instant, from the platform or just the team in general, or just kind of we went over everything already?
I think that's pretty much everything for the most part. The leaderboard is like the first little tip in what we have rolling out for users to participate in. If anybody here was around for our testnet and any of the events that we had back then, I can't make any announcements yet, but there's going to be some very similar kind of events going on. I think next week we're going to make an announcement. So just follow the timeline. If you guys are curious about what's coming out, we're going to be dropping things all this week. So appreciate it.
Love it. And then Murion, any last words from you in terms of market expectations and maybe be careful in September, or anything that you're feeling out there?
Just I am feeling risk on season in Q4 starting from November, so it's time to lock in for that.
Let's go. Man, that's extra excitement right there. He did the table tap. Love it.
Yep. And guys, go check out at Artura Finance. This is them right there. Make sure it's this one right here, and you guys can get all the latest stuff right here. But it's been absolutely awesome, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
In the next one.
All right. Appreciate it. See you guys later.
Amazing as always, man. Really looking forward to seeing this platform get that TVL, because that's one thing that was a little bit concerning to me. But knowing that that's happening in the background, man, that's going to be absolutely huge. And you got to remember, Botanix is brand new. I mean, this thing is, you say an infant. I mean, this thing is right out the womb, right? So still sitting in the the ICU beds. But with Artura really being one of their biggest dApps, in my opinion, the best dApp over there. You guys have a lot of opportunity, especially early. I mean, as the cycle goes longer, people they try to find more and more opportunities because they feel like they missed the Ethereums, the Cardanos, the normal stuff. They want to venture out. Me and Yagobi both did that last cycle. I ended up on Phantom. He ended up on Kronos, right? So you are going to see people eventually go to these chains, and being early and getting some of these coins and stuff for free is going to be absolutely amazing. I think it's a huge opportunity. And I saw some 1000Xs on Phantom. I'm sure you saw some crazy stuff on Kronos as well. So
yeah, and Kronos was the tell-in actually, and so that FTX money was still getting rotated around to try to make up for some of their losses, I guess, but they were definitely pumping coins. But I think the biggest thing that people can take advantage of this cycle is the fact that there's a lot of airdrops, and if you do this, you get this kind of situation, right? Last cycle, it was, if you join this Ponzi, then you have a chance to make this much if you get out early. But so, this cycle is a little different, and I think better, in a better way. And so it's exciting that we're heading into, a bullish time. Finally, we can say we are for sure going to be bullish in Q4 of this year. And we're starting that right now.
Yeah, 100%. But a few more topics, if that's cool.
Yep.
All right. We got Bitcoin miner Mara signs a $168 million deal to acquire 64% stake. I mean, damn, 64% stake in Exaion, French state-owned energy giant. making its biggest AI and high performance computing push. So Amara is now entering the AI game about getting compute and selling it to these AI platforms. What do you think about Mara? Do you think eventually some of these Bitcoin players pivot to AI and make that the big part of the business, because they already have the miners?
I think the ones that are, well, even the big ones probably, because they can make money, you know, and so it's tough to see. But like the one thing is like it's so cost efficient for them to be able to give compute to AI, so they make more from doing that. They do, but depends on like how high they expect Bitcoin to go as well, because you could in the long run make more with Bitcoin. So I think there's just kind of like this like middle ground right now. But the big ones that dominate the mining industry, I think they will always be, you know, mining mostly, but then they look at other opportunities, and AI is definitely one of them, man. I'll tell you that they do. They'll probably just do both.
And think about, like, if they do 30% of their business in AI, they're getting money every single day without selling down Bitcoin, which allows them to keep the Bitcoin, which allows the new generation of Bitcoin holding companies, right? So they don't have to sell the Bitcoin ever. They can live off the AI. I think this is actually huge for AI companies to do this, because now you can keep mining Bitcoin, because we know Bitcoin only goes up against the dollar. And we do know that, the AI companies they're going to be everywhere, right? AI is going to be in everything. So we're going to need more and more of these performance centers to kind of push the compute to these AI products. So I love it. I love this, and I think Mara seems to always be at the forefront of innovation here. They're probably one of the biggest innovators of Bitcoin, and I hope that they continue to build on L1 Bitcoin as well. I think that would be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I do too. They've always been a big part of the mining ecosystem. So, and I expect them they're probably just looking at this as like opportunity. You know what I mean? And when you're running a business efficiently, you look for that. You know what I mean? Because the more that you can succeed in other markets that make sense, the more formidable your company becomes. And Mara's already kind of at that level, but this will take them to another level.
100%. Moving along though, so 816Z, we haven't heard about these guys in a while. They were one of the biggest VC companies in crypto last cycle, and they haven't really stuck their toe in yet. But they have the crypto AI16Z crypto and others back 340 million IP token, which is a story token treasury strategy by Heritage Distilling. So Heritage Distilling holding company, the ticker on the NASDAQ is CASK, is pioneering the adoption of the IP token and native token of Story blockchain as its primary treasury asset. Story Foundation said it will use 100% of its net cash proceeds to repurchase IP on the open market within 90 days. So Story Foundation saying, hey, not only will we have this treasury company, but we're actually going out and we're going to be repurchasing the IP token. So please sell it down. I don't know why it's down 10% on this news today, but it's one of those things where this is huge for Story.
Is this going to be an official SPAC?
So this is already a company. So Heritage Distilling is already a company, so they're already holding something, but they're pivoting to IP.
So basically, they're just raising this money, and then they're gonna buy. Okay, yeah. I mean, so SPAC or this route, it doesn't matter. Buying back that token is going to be such a kind of setting off the like the gunshot of a horse race, right? This is bullish, man. This is, we've been beaten down like institutions and TradFi and stuff, and rightly so, in terms of how they used to dominate their industry and stuff, but they're about to pump our bags like big time, guys. Like, you guys got to realize that it's either through this way. And I know A16Z is a crypto company, but they are also an investor, right? And I'm sure there's TradFi people that have their hands in this cookie jar. But with that being said, buying back the token like this is going to be so bullish. Imagine that you were in a token that has a solid utility, either chain or whatever they're doing, but the price has been a little bit kind of stagnant. This is going to help that. This is going to boost the price. This is going to make it more energetic, and it's going to happen all across crypto. The ones that are at least significant and have strong foundation and stuff. So super exciting stuff. I can't wait to start to see this ripple effect start to happen.
Yeah, 100%, dude. It's going to get big. It's going to get crazy, man. It really is, especially from that sector. That's only one of the many sectors that's about to explode here. Speaking of sectors about to explode, Arjun, who is the CEO of Kraken, posted again yesterday. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it said waiting patiently with Billy. We do know they have listed Dog. They have listed Lobo. They have listed Mim. It looks like Billy is next. How big is this for that
Big.
community?
Big. I mean, Billy's been the IP play of Bitcoin Runes, right? And so this is really big. It's a strong community. They're probably really, really excited about all this stuff, which is great. I think that, you know, they need to keep the pressure on and keep, you know, being a strong community. But this is a sign that they're going to come in. And we all kind of knew that, like, Kraken built the infrastructure to list more than just Dog. And now we're starting to see that.
Yeah, I agree. And it's stupid for them not to keep listing rooms, right? I think they're going to list Billy tomorrow. They're going to list Gizmo probably Friday, because it seems like they do like Friday listings for some reason. And next week, potentially we could see, you know, the other, whether it's Gizmo, you know, Bro Bear. Dude, I think they're going to list all the rooms. I really do. And I think they're going to continue to list runes because it's stupid not to, because they built this infrastructure. They're going to want to make as much money as they can. And they did see Dog actually go absolutely nuts, and it is like the #2 traded meme coin on Kraken, which is insane.
Yeah, I did see that. Like they were right behind Pengu in that competition, and so yeah, I mean, you know, they're going to get a lot of support from the Bitcoin ecosystem because they're one of the big entities that showed up and supported the Bitcoin eco. So I think it's going to be a great mutual relationship in the future as well.
Yeah, I mean, look at this, dude. Dog, it's beat out Bonk. It beat out Toshi. It beat out all these other ones, right? To be that Pengu is just too unstoppable, especially the run it had. There was no beating that, but still, Dog being close. I mean, you know, being there, man, absolutely is insane. That's all. So, also, congratulations, Dog community.
Yeah. Also, Pengu has institutional money behind it, though.
Yeah.
So that was a really tough one, to be honest. And nothing against Luca Nets or anything like that. Like, they were smart to do that because basically they paid for marketing by buying their own token, you know. And so now they get to be on the back of the F1. But, you know, they also said, don't worry, we're going to do something for, you know, who comes in second and third. So.
Yeah, 100%. So we will see. We will see. Let's move along here to the next topic here, which is major development. 51% attack hash rate takeover by Qubic, a mining project led by former IOTA co-founder Sergey, was reportedly gained control of 51% of Monero's hash rate, raising red flags about the block reorganization, transaction censorship, potential double spend exploits. Once you have 51% of the hash power, you can make any change you want. You can roll it back, you can add, you can change. That is why, like, it's scary for Ethereum potentially have, like, you know, the 6 biggest people together who have it staked are making changes, because this is absolutely awesome. But the attack appears to be a part of a planned stress test with Qubic, growing its share under 2% in May and to a peak of 52% in mid-August by offering amplified economic incentives. Absolutely crazy, bro, that this company was able to completely take over Monero pretty easily. It seems like it is costing them like $25,000 a day, but, you know, they had to buy, you know, I mean, insane. What do you think?
Yeah, scary. It's scary, man. It's scary. I mean, it tanked the price by what you said, 16%.
Yeah, it's dropped ridiculous today. Yeah.
So what happens now? Do you got to get them out of the majority?
Yeah, I mean, you got more hashes to come online, right?
Yeah.
That's the only other way. You got to dilute what they have. I mean, but that's the scary part about these proof of
governance.
Work. You don't need the token. I don't need, like with Ethereum, in order to attack it, I got to put in $100 billion.
Yeah.
With this,
well, you still got to run
$25,000 a day.
Yeah. Well, how much would it be for something like Bitcoin?
Well, something like Bitcoin, I'm not really talking about Bitcoin, but like Caspa and these other ones, these Doge even.
I know, but like theoretically, it would cost way too much for something like Bitcoin to do that, right? To be able to maintain that much hash power.
Well, it's because Bitcoin's hash power has been absolute. Well, 4 companies basically have 51% though. Mara.
Yeah, but
if they got together, they can make any change they want.
Yeah, but that I mean that would be very corrupt. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. That's the
Right.
worst part about the Bitcoin proof of work is because they can dump all the coins, still control the chain. Because you're not worried about the Bitcoin price dumping, right? Because you can just keep dumping all your tokens, get rid of them all, and then make the changes you want. And then after it dumps, buy them back, right? So that's the only scary about proof of work. And that's why I think proof of stake is actually better in the sense of potentially you need to, if you wreck the chain, you're destroying your value, and you have 51% of the tokens. You're the one that's losing tons and tons of money.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Monero doesn't really get talked too much about in our space, but this is a pretty
Privacy
big deal.
token,
Yeah.
I'm just saying this could potentially happen to any proof of work. It might not be one entity like it happened here, but it might be six. Like, dude, seriously, if Mara, Riot, Antpool, and a couple other ones got together, they could make any change they wanted. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen though.
We could fork the chain, though. We could fork the chain.
Yeah,
But,
I don't think they would. They wouldn't want that to happen though either, because they have Bitcoin success is their success. So
yeah, but they can make the changes they want and take Bitcoin into a different direction.
yeah, but there would be a lot of fighting that.
They don't have to hold the token, though. They can dump all the tokens.
I know, but what I'm saying
buy
is
them back cheaper.
there would be a lot of contesting of that and protesting of it.
There's nothing they can do. 51%,
I know, but I'm saying
51%.
What I'm saying is they will bring it to light, which would not be good for Bitcoin. People
I'm
would
just
bring
saying.
that to light, and then they would be like, okay, like, because they don't want Bitcoin to dump.
They'd have to fork it. They'd have to fork Bitcoin.
Or they
That's
just
the
wouldn't do
only
it
way.
because they know that if they like mess Bitcoin up, that their business model suffers.
I don't think it suffers. They can go and buy the token cheaper. Say, hey guys, we're changing things back, and they can run it, dude.
Yeah, but no, that would scare people.
Yeah.
And then people would start dump. There would be a dump waterfall.
But then the miners just go into AI, and like they never missed anything.
So
right?
then our industry dies.
Well, no, proof of work dies. Everything else would just go to proof of stake because that's impossible to do without wrecking your monetary financial. You know what I mean? Like with Bitcoin, they can dump their Bitcoins, pivot to AI, right, and then just potentially make the changes they want in Bitcoin. And then with Ethereum, you can't do that because you're going to lose hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But move along here. So Solana based meme coin Swift, promoted by some of the top influencers, has dumped 90%, falling from 31 million to 3.48 million. And this is kind of why we want to do a meme coin here. But because we want to do it because these guys who one paid these influencers to dump this token, they should be put in jail. Like seriously, this should eventually be a crime. Right. And this is why we want to do a meme coin, because we want to be front facing. We want to put our face to it. We want to be out there and showing like, hey, we are not this token will not drop 90%. And if it does, it's not from anything that we've done. And I don't think they can do that with this token because they all dump together.
Yeah. Well,
coordinated dump.
So I think that needs, because some of them, it just needs to be proven, right? And that's the whole thing. And that's why you got to be, very, very intentional about like how you're handling these kind of things. But this is the kind of stuff that, from last cycle too, that we saw all the time. And this is the one thing that, the Elizabeth Warrens can say is that this happens too often. And I don't like her at one bit. I don't like anything about like her stance or anything in anything. This is something that she's not wrong about though, is that like this needs to stop, being such a, there was a coin last night called Send on Bonk, and it was an AI LARP that was completely like really just well built out, and it went from 40,000 to about 7 million in like 5 hours, and then the developer just dumped all his tokens and went from 7 million to like 600,000, and like that guy falls in the same boat as this, right? But that's the problem with Anon, is that like, Anon needs to go away. Like that just needs to go away. Anonymous needs to go away. Like, because if we don't allow it to go away, then and people are like, you're gonna make everybody KYC. If you're launching a token, you're putting other people in a situation, you know, just like they should, because they're never going to be held accountable. It's like there's a reason why there's not cowboys still loose in the Wild West anymore. You know what I mean? It's because they would kill somebody and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And eventually that stopped because people didn't want people killing people. You know what I'm saying? So people don't want people, ripping people off. And so this needs to stop too. And that's a sad thing about our space, man. And it gives such a black eye. And if you argue for people like that, then you need to go away too. If you 100%. Argue for people that being anonymous should stay around and all this stuff, and this doesn't matter, you need to go away. Go do your own shit in fucking a third world corrupt country. Go scam those people.
And if you want to be anon, just don't launch anything. Just buy and hold. You don't, you know what I mean? You can stay anon, but if you launch something, if you put out a product, because meme coins are looked at as collectibles, right? If you put out a collectible and you scam everyone and they're all fake collectibles, you deserve to go to jail. And that's the same thing that's happening over on Solana. And that's why we want to front face our project, front face our meme coin. And we want to make that a trend where everyone who is launching a meme coin does it front facing. And that's what we're going to do this Sunday.
And don't get into something that someone's not front facing. But that's 100%. Not people. People want to make money and they're greedy and they just want to make money, so they're going to continually do it. So
and number will go up and we'll have more stuff like this, but they'll learn eventually. Front facing only. But that's our show, guys. We got 456 people in here right now, 247 on X, 99 on YouTube, 110 on Twitch, not to mention everyone on Kick, Rumble, and Abstract and Spotify later. Appreciate every single one of you guys.
Absolutely, man. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. We're so appreciative of each and every one of you guys. And without our partners, we couldn't do it as well. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for Bitcoin runes or alkanes, they support both fungible token standards on Bitcoin. You got to do it at statsterminal.com. Why? Because you're going to earn Amber points, and Amber points are an XP point system that is going towards a give back for early adopters, guys. So make sure you head over to statsterminal.com. Join us tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern as the CEO Stan's going to be with us. We're going to go over some updates for the ecosystem or for their protocol. Also, just kind of talk about market talk as well. Head over to statsterminal.com today. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling of the Bitcoin ecosystem. For you to be able to jump your ordinals from Bitcoin to Ethereum, you got to use Emblem Vault's vaulting system. You can actually take a loan out against your Taproot Wizard on the Gandhi platform, which is the largest borrowing and lending platform for NFTs on Ethereum. They're going to be opening this up to Base, Arbitrum, possibly Merlin as well, and Solana, of course. And speaking of Solana, they have the best AI product over there called AI Agent Hustle, which is an AI agent that guides you through the trenches of Solana. You can ask Agent Hustle, give me a couple of safe plays that can 5x in the ecosystem. It'll bring back a couple of options for you and why it selected those options. Also, it can do conditional trading and DeFi functionalities on your behalf in the Solana ecosystem. So make sure you test it out now as it's free. Eventually, they're going to be adding a subscription service type of business model to this involving the Hustle token. And then don't forget, they do have a TGE for their Bitcoin runes. It's going to be on block 915,000. Right now, you can go to OpenSea and search Emblem Founder Vaults and purchase one of these NFTs as a pre-sale. And once block 915,000 comes around, you will get to open your vault, and there will be a Bitcoin wallet in there with your Bitcoin runes. So super excited about this team. This team has about 4 products underneath them. They're, in my opinion, going to be one of the fastest growing teams in all of crypto. They also have migrate.fund, which allows you to migrate away from a launchpad that you might have launched on Solana to another one, or to manage your own LP. They did it with their own token, so it has been proven successful, and they're going to have their first cohort at the end of this month. So make sure you're following them to check that out. Also, Artura.finance is the personal leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. We have these guys on today. Very awesome team. They are live on Botanix, which is the Bitcoin spider chain. And right now you can add liquidity to their vaults to earn XP. They're going to be given a give back to early adopters as well. And that's what the XP is going to go towards. You can also earn XP by just trading. Right now you can trade Bitcoin and Ethereum, but in the future, they're going to have Bitcoin fungible synthetic tokens as well. And then other tokens outside the ecosystem like Tau, XRP, and the derivatives as well. So that's going to be really exciting. Head over to Artura.finance today to learn more. Join their community. That's a big thing there. They're really big on community. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet for Bitcoin and Cardano, soon to be Sui. We're actually going to be on a space with their team today at 4 p.m. Central, I think 5 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you join that. They're going to have, I think it's ICA, which is a parallel multi, what's it called? MPC. Parallel MPC. So it's basically the bridge between Sui and Bitcoin. So it's going to be a really good educational space. Make sure you guys join that. Supposedly it's going to be like a 1 second bridging, very, very fast. So definitely got to check that out. But right now you can swap for Bitcoin runes on their app as they partner with SaaS Terminal, or you can swap for Cardano tokens as they partnered with Dex Hunter there. And then there's an alpha section on their app as well that you can find YouTube streamers like us and other YouTubers like Cryptos RS as well. Make sure you head over to Tokyo.io. You can download from the Apple App Store if you have an iPhone, or Google Play if you have an Android, and then check them out. Let us know your feedback there. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin's strength through the power of AI. They also have an awesome AI called the Wizard 0.3. The 0.4 version is coming out. I think you pulled it down there. You have Tokyo up still, but the Wizard can guide you through Merlin Chain, right? So you can also very soon with the version 4, you can do cross-chain DeFi actions, right? I swapped for a token yesterday or on Merlin Monday on Solana from Merlin Chain. So it's really, really cool stuff. The Wizard is really there for a guide and can do DeFi functions for you. And you can also help secure the chain with their proof of stake security. If you go to merlinchain.io and click on stake, there's 3 options: Bitcoin, staking to earn more Bitcoin, which is an average of 16% APR. It is locked up until September 30th of this year. Just know that. And then also 2 options for the Merlin Chain's token side, the Merl token. The first one is the flexible. It's a day-to-day. You can actually claim the rewards and compound interest them on a daily basis. But when you do try to withdraw your Merlin tokens on the daily staking option, it does take 7 days to come out. So that's standard procedure for them. And then also on the 6th month, it's called the bonding option, and you earn 45% APR. And you can still do the daily claim of the rewards and compound interest. And of course, it's staked for 6 months there. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more. And then lastly is Ordinal Hive. This team is getting ready to really release a ton of information and updates for you guys. They are live right now in their beta version at ordinalhive.io. It is the fastest platform. And if you have a faster platform, let us know. The team is very proud of how fast they are. Also, when you sell your Ordinal, you get your liquidity instantly. So make sure that you guys are using Ordinal Hive to sell, because they are an aggregator. So they're going to be able to, bring any Ordinal to you from all the other platforms, and it's lightning quick. So head over to ordinalhive.io to learn more today. And we thank you so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io, a new article dropping soon. But if you guys haven't checked out this one about Lobo, the wolf pup, the Bitcoin rune, definitely read this. So our articles are awesome because we drop one a week, and we make it that week's #1 headline, right? From the Bitcoin or side of things. And for you guys can go back and look at each and every article. There's articles too about mainstream, about Ethereum as well. So every week is that top news story of that week. So definitely check that out. You guys go all the way back to September 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. It really fucking help them get started and code up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, everyone should have VPN. I'm not even joking, guys. Every single one of you guys should have a VPN. There's free ones out there. you can try them, see the differences. But for me, I'm somebody who's used the VPN for over 5 years now, and Nord is my personal favorite. And we actually have a deal with them where you guys can get at $3.39 a month, guys. $33.39 a month. Lock it in for 2 years, because if you do lock that in for 1 month or 3 months, when you come back, they're going to force you to pay this number right here per month. But lock this in. I said it, forget it. 2 years later, I mean, I think I did it twice now. Right? Because I did it 2 years, I did it 2 years again. It's my personal favorite, and I can put it to Switzerland, Italy, El Salvador. It allows me to use exchanges like Maxi. It allows me to use sites out there that are blocking me because where I am in the geopolitical bullshit, right? They put lines around and say, oh, you can't do it because you're in that line. Stop it, guys. We live on an internet society now, open borders. It is time to be able to use anything you want, and having a VPN allows you to do that. Check out this and get the NordVPN today if you haven't got one. And then we have merch. We have some of the best merch. I keep saying I'm going to add stuff. We are going to be adding stuff to this. So if there's anything you want us to add, we can add that. Yo, can you put an ETH shirt in there? Yo, can you put a Cardano shirt on there? We can add pretty much anything to these guys, hats, jackets. Let us know what you guys want. And I have some stuff that I want to add personally because I want to buy it before the hoodie season comes, because I love hoodie season. I love rocking a hoodie, and I love my having a Billy cat or a dog or a panda. Yeah, Yagobi's rocking this shirt right here. So definitely rocking it today. So definitely check that out if you guys are interested in everything over here. But guys, hold on real quick. I did have a couple comments. I don't want to miss them. Myself says I wouldn't be surprised if someone from the LA vape ball gets locked up for scamming. Yeah, I think scamming. It's time, man. It's time to put people in behind bars for this shit. Cash Cats is here. My man Webdro. Thanks, and Stance. Thanks, guys. Thank you, every single one of you guys, every single day. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until tomorrow,
peace.
OnChain revolution, roll call, market recap. You not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go, Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain